it's time for the visit with the person of high strangeness. Now that you had followed me along for 7 weeks on the series of show called Najona, which means a quest, it's a Navajo word, we're going to bring you back into the studio. Now, one of the things is when I go on these trips, sometimes I get lucky and universe throws people at me that I'm going to need at a later time. Well, that didn't happen on my Najona trip. When I came back, I ended up in Ocean Shores with Daryl Sims and Peter Davenport and James Clarkston. They had a psychic fair on one side of the convention center and a UFO conference on the other side. And as we enter our 9th season of this show, all this time I had put out to the universe to bring me an animal psychic, please. And that just never happened until I got down here talking about UFOs, and I looked up and there was a lady that is an animal psychic, amongst other things. And so today I'm really excited to have brought her to the studio. Now, if you hear what sounds like a windshield wiper, it's not. That's our guest, Wyatt. He's actually he's a dog. And so for the time being, he's a 4-legged windshield wiper. And so eventually you'll meet him. And so I was just really excited when Miss Donna Harris decided to come, agreed actually to come and visit with us today. So without further delay, I'm going to introduce you to my guest and new friend, I hope, Donna Harris. So how are you?
I am great, thank you.
Great.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre how this whole thing happened, because I never did get to talk to you in person.
I know, there was a lineup of people, and just by chance I saw you standing there, and you were watching me.
I was the only one without a dog, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were the only one without a dog or a reason, but you were just standing there staring at me. I thought, oh, I can't think about this right now. I have to do this.
So what I did is I went to the front door and I polled the people coming out to see who he was and what made you tick. And so then you did agree to come. In the meantime, we discovered we have mutual friends, Kanashibu-san.
Yes, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful lady.
Yeah, she just left here a few months ago, and she was telling us about the trip she took to Montana, and I guess that's where she...
Well, I met her on a couple of other expos, but we were going to share a room, well, not her and I, but we're sharing this house with another mutual friend. And I got to meet her there, and she's just absolutely wonderful. And we did the expo together, and I did animal communication. And she did her readings, but she did palmistry too. She's like extremely versatile, so I mean she can do anything.
And speaking of versatile, we had a very brief telephone conversation, and the rest of our focus today was on Wyatt. The opening shot and what you see behind us is your dog?
That's my dog, Blaze.
Blaze.
Yeah. He was my first real, I've had him like about 4.5 years, and well, about 4 years. My mother passed away, so I inherited him. And he's just been a blessing. He's a wonderful, wonderful animal. Very, very intuitive. Sees spirits, growls at them, you know, lets them know who's boss. And he's a Pomeranian, but he's just pint sized, but he thinks he's very, very large.
Very large.
Oh, he's very large, very ferocious.
Yeah. So now, Donna, tell me, share with us Donna Harris, if you will. I'm sure you didn't just wake up overnight and say, let me talk to the animals. So how did we do that?
Well, my father was a logger, and so I was raised in the mountains, more or less. And
which state?
In Oregon and Washington. Yeah, but basically in Oregon. But my hometown is in Washington. And anyway, I was left alone with the animals most of the time. And so it was really natural to do the things that I do. And I've always been able to communicate with them. But at that time, you know, growing up, you weren't really, I mean, nobody ever said you're psychic or, you know, you're an animal communicator or anything like that. So I just kept things to myself. And then later on, just when I was older, I became a Reiki master in '96, and that kind of prompted me to go a little bit further.
I want to interrupt here for a minute. Now, Reiki, we have covered Reiki on the show, medicine, real Reiki and things, and that's a form of healing.
It is. It's a hands-on healing. Is the easiest way to say it. It's Japanese, and you have attunements that give you symbols that helps you bring in different energies and power from different areas.
Yeah. And so we were gone. My granddaughter and I were gone, and we just had a couple of Reiki treatments. It's just wonderful.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay.
And so, and you now live?
I live in Marysville.
Marysville.
But I travel a lot. I've been doing a lot of international cat shows. And that takes me, I've gone to Alaska and Canada, Oregon, Washington, and hopefully next summer I'm going to branch out because they're international, so you can go to Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Marysville, for the friends that don't live here, Marysville is north of Seattle.
It's about 40 miles
North
of Seattle. It's right out of, about 7 miles out of Everett.
And that's what the Canadian border. Now, we do air in Anchorage on Channel 44 Thursday nights at 11:30. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and we'll show your phone number and your webpage throughout the show. So maybe when you go back to Alaska.
Be wonderful, yeah.
Do you know Donna Siebel?
You know, she has asked me to be on her radio program, but it seems like, I mean, I'm busy a lot of the time, so there's like a major conflict.
Yeah. But she goes to Anchorage quite often, so the Anchorage friend know, are very familiar with Donna Siebel. That's why I've worked that in here. Now, so okay, take me to your adolescence. So do you have children? Did you get married? Did you do what the rest of us do? Or did you just, at what point did you?
No, I got married when I was pretty young. I have 5 children.
So we did the wife and the mother thing.
So we did all of that, yes. I did my share. And later on in life, I became, when the kids were up and grown, then I was able to do what I wanted to do for myself. And that was to go back into my healing, because when I was very young, my father did the rodeo circuit. And so I was able at that time to communicate a lot better with the animals, with horses, you know, all of that. So I put all of that on hold, had my family, and then came ahead with it.
One of our regular friends, Monica Ryan Smith, her son does the rodeo.
Oh.
And so who knows, maybe you ran into him also. It's
I
such a
hope
small
so.
world, isn't it?
When you get in this community, and I say community respectfully, it is small. I mean, there's just, we network. I think that's part of it. That's a great part of it.
Yeah, it's just amazing how, and we do so many things differently, but it all comes out the same. Would you agree?
Yeah, and then when I was really young, I lived with the Indians for a while, so that helped me
we have
too.
that in common.
Yeah, in Ellensburg.
What tribe? Yakima would be.
Yeah, it'd be the Yakimas.
Yeah, it's just amazing how we all make that.
It's just the baby steps, but it's all down that same road.
I'm going to tell you a story here. And I was on a charter plane from Harrah's Hotel coming from Laughlin, Nevada back to Portland, Oregon the other day. And I got searched, and well, blue hair, you know, and because I have a medicine bag, of course they wanted to know what was in there, and I said it has nitro, which is my medicine, and he said, well, do you determine what you put in there yourself? And I said, no, it's nitro. Of course, the word nitro, getting searched, triggers. I had everybody's attention, you know. So eventually, because of it, I was the last person on the plane. And there was a woman sitting ahead of me in the first row there, and she wanted to know, did I know James Gilliland? And do you know?
No.
Do you know? No. Well, James Gilliland, well, I'm getting off the subject here. But anyway, James Gilliland has a resort up by Mount Adams, and we talked about that. So the people sitting next to me, that's the story I'm trying to get to. I didn't want to be rude and look around the corner to see who they were, so I just sat down, and the voice 2 over said, do you know her? And I said, no. And he said, well, you talk to her like you're friends. And I said, well, sometimes if you're in that circle, might as well talk to her, because if I don't, I might run into her car a little later because I didn't take this opportunity to talk to her this time.
Right.
And he said, that's an interesting concept. And then the woman next to me, she says, so what are we going to do? And I said, about what? She was talking about world conditions and things. And so I said, I just came home from a trip, and in the Lava Beds, Idaho, there were 2 plaques. And one said, this is the home of prehistoric man. He hunted camel and wild boar for food and, transportation and food. And next to it was a plaque. It said, here was, this is the internment camp of the detention center of 45,000 Japanese Americans that were loaned out to the local farmers for slave labor. And the gentleman started crying. And I thought, that's strange. And it turned out he was a survivor from that camp.
No.
And at that time, I turned to see, and I saw that they were Japanese Americans.
Oh, wow.
But isn't that amazing how?
Absolutely. Yeah. We all fit together. I mean, it's like, it's little triggers. No matter what we do, it's little triggers. Yeah.
Now, let's get back to the animals here for a minute. Now, how do the animals incorporate? Is that the same principle, the same concept, or can you enlighten me on that?
What do you mean by incorporate?
I know people are in a certain circle, whether it's a family unity.
Right, when you come in. Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Okay.
Now, how do the animals fit in there with us?
The animals fit in the same way. I believe that all people have choice. And, there is no really good, bad, or in between. We all just have choices. And the animals have the same thing. And there's a matter of when you come in, you learn. And you have certain things that you want to learn. And then you pass on, and then you come back again in another time. And the animals are the same way.
Same way.
Yeah. They go out. They have choice to come back to possibly the same family, because our lifespan is so much longer than theirs is.
So when a person has a dog and the dog passes over and a cat comes in its place and has all the memories where the dog hides things, is that possible? Or does it always has to be the same species?
No, it doesn't have to be at all.
That's interesting.
They have choices. I mean, in my readings, I have seen like cats leave, come back as dogs, and the person says, "Can this be real?" I mean, they know where to go. I mean, it's just like everything is so natural for them.
Yeah, that's why I asked that, because sometimes you think, how does this cat know what this dog used to do?
Yeah, or laying on the bed, or nuzzling somebody like that. They know.
Yeah. Now I've got I'm gonna put this here for just a minute. I've got you handed me a whole. I'm gonna go this way. Some cases that you felt free to talk about. And so I'm going to hand this to you, and then as you talk about these cases, maybe you could give them back to me, and then I can hold them up and show the picture.
Sure.
Now, do you feel that we bridge this from who you are and why you do things to this well, or what did we leave out that you feel that's important?
I think we've spoken about it. I ever since I was little, I've always loved the animals. Like you always hear about people picking up little birds that have knocked themselves out. They bring them back to life and things like that. That's what I've always wanted to do, and it's just followed suit as I've gotten older. Okay,
so I'm going to hand you these, and if you'd be nice enough then to give them to me in the order that you, just a kind of a brief story, and then eventually we're going to bring our winch. Bring Wyatt up here, and so then we'll show you how an actual interaction with an animal, how that comes out. So as you talk about these things, I'll hold them up if you don't mind.
Okay. Now, this is a dog that it's a Mastiff, Mastiffs are absolutely wonderful. I mean, they're very family. They love their owners. They will do anything in the world for them. They normally, because they're so big, a lot of them have problems with their joints and backs and stuff like that. And people say, well, you know, the Mastiffs are so huge and I'm afraid. Well, this is a picture of children around the same dog. And
I'm gonna, okay.
And that one is, her name is Annie. And she's a rescue dog, which means she's been in several families. And I love working with rescue animals, except that when you get into their minds, which I deal with the subconscious, when you get into their minds, it's like you see a whole bunch of the past. And so I ask people, have you owned this dog all the time? I mean, or did you get it from a pound or a rescue or whatever? And this makes a lot of difference because they have memory and they bring it forward. And so it's like we may be talking about a dog, and all of a sudden somebody will come in and kick it or hit it, or you know, something along that line. Well, then I'll say, well, have you had this dog since it was a puppy? And they'll say, no, you know, I'm the third owner. And then you got to go back because these are imprints that are in these animals' heads, and you got to find out why it's there. It's just like a person. And this is Annie again. Now Annie came and was just starved. She was a bone. Didn't play, didn't do anything, had to be caged up. Mainly because the people who had her or took her in, they had 3 other Mastiffs. And Annie just wanted to eat everything around her. So they kept her in this cage out in the back until they actually indoctrinated her, you know, to the family, got them used to her and everything else. Well, I went in and talked to her, and she had been severely abused by other people, and I won't really even go into that.
In her present lifetime,
in this life.
Or before?
No, in this life. And so she wanted to be, and she told me very distinctly, she wanted to be the only dog. No children. She wanted to be the dog. So the people who brought her into their home, they found a wonderful family. That was an older couple. And Annie is the most happiest thing in the world now. I mean, she plays, she's wonderful. She gets around people, socializes. So, okay, the next picture I'm going to show you, and I don't think that you can see it, but in this picture, this is a cat named Cassie. And Cassie lives with 4 Sphinx cats. Now, these Sphinx cats are hairless. And so, and so they have huge ears like this, and they have tails that look like a rat's. And so Cassie is antisocial. She was the first one there. She's about 18 years old. She's the first one there. And so she tries to stay out of these other cats' ways. And they are so energetic that she has the stand she gets up on. Well, she was looking out the window in this picture, and they snapped it, and a raccoon is looking back at her.
To the window, look at that.
And it's adorable.
Yeah.
So she said she didn't want to be around the other cats, and this is her brothers and sisters, which I will just show you one picture.
Okay. Now, when, like I said, I was looking for, here you go, I was looking for an animal psychic or intuitive for many years. And so people are actively looking.
Yes, actually.
To help the animal. Is that what you're telling me here?
That's right. It's getting very, very common now. There's a lot of communicators out there. I mean, a lot. And they're good. You know, and each communicator, everybody kind of says, oh, are you as good as Sonia? That's on the animal world, you know? And no, that's not how. It's like when you go to a psychic, one psychic reads this way, one will read this way, one reads this way. They're never the same. And so what I do is, and Tom, the owner, he came and he looked for me in a metaphysical bookstore and asked who would do this. Well, a friend of mine that's excellent in what she does, she recommended. And then I went over and read all 5 cats, which was a test.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a test, and I said, that's okay, you know, that happens.
They do that sometimes.
Yeah, that happens. So I just read them, you know. When I was through, it took me about an hour and a half because they're very active, and I had to do each one. They said, no, you are real. You are real. So that was a confirmation for me, and they're the ones that helped me in these international cat shows.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, how wonderful. I'm going to drop this, and here we go. I'm going to bring it down. See, there's my face. That's my face. Lost my thought here for a minute. A lot of times owners don't know what to do exactly, and because in fact that's one of the shows that I'm going to do here eventually, where it's in the cat food, the byproduct is cannibalizing, and all of that. And so I would assume that the animals do the same thing as people. They build up certain immunities, and vet bills are very expensive. So
Yeah.
So what do you say to people? Take them to the vet and they can figure out, or would it be easier to come your way?
Actually, I can take a look at the animal that they have, cat, dog, whatever, and I can see where their digestive tract is. I do scanning to a degree.
Right, like a medical intuitive.
Right. And I don't go in and actually do the surgeries or anything like that, although at this point I am working on a small cat who has a heart murmur, enlarged heart, which is creating the heart murmur. And in that one I'm doing the Reiki in long distance healing.
Now, the friends actually understand that, because back to the travel shows for a minute, we had taken you to a primate refuge. Lady, she rescues primates from laboratories and things. And Monica Vine-Smith was with us, and there was a monkey, I forgot what kind, was very, very vicious and everything. And so Monica did perform, from a distance, performed Reiki on this, primate. And you could see in the film how it just stopped, and whatever it was, it just felt good,
Yeah.
And so we have seen these things happening. Now, do you have anything else there? Or is that something else?
No, this is something else. I also make pet jewelry, and it's called Their Choice, and it's on my website. And I can make it any type that you want, like hats with real stones, silver, sterling silver. I am a silversmith, and I've been that since 1975.
So that's a key. That's a cliffhanger here. You have promised to come back and show us how to make silver jewelry.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So sometimes in the year 2004, if we're still functioning, we'll show you how to make jewelry. Now, I've been teasing the friends with Wyatt here, so maybe it would be a good time to kind of bring him up here and see how we're going to do this. Now, Wyatt and his mommy, Lori, is going to come up here. And so
Hi, Wyatt.
there's a mic there for you.
Hi. How
And,
are you?
And put your mic on with your hair.
How's that?
Straighten out your jacket, please, so it doesn't scratch. Cool. Now, this is Wyatt.
Hi, Wyatt.
Sit down.
Hi. Hi, Wyatt. What are you looking for? Huh?
He's looking for your stuffed toy. We have a...
Wait a minute.
he is strong, huh?
He is really strong.
I can't hold him. Anyway,
There.
this is Lori Johnson here.
Hi.
She is Wyatt's mommy. And this is Wyatt. And let me move this. And we actually had a reason to bring him. If you turn around, you can smile for the camera. Anyway, it's going to be a little hectic here, but that's just the funnest things. There you go.
See, what's happening is I use this tablecloth when I do my animal communications at expos. He's smelling the other animals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's smelling them, so. Hey, Wyatt.
Okay, now Lori,
Hi.
the reason we had picked Wyatt here is you and I know he has something that's rather unusual. And so if you'd be nice enough, Donna, and by the way, you know each other. So this, Donna, this is Lori.
Hi.
Lori, this is Donna. If you would be nice enough to kind of give us a little demonstration how that works. He isn't going to turn around. He's just not going to turn around.
Until he's done smelling it. And when he gets all those little scents out of his nose, then he'll turn around.
Well, okay, so I'm going to be quiet and let you take that over here from...
Well, number one, he's beautiful. And he's very, very happy. And I mean, he's a very well-adjusted animal, okay? Very happy where he's at and what he's doing. Hey, Wyatt. See, he loves stuffed animals, so he's after mine. Wyatt. See, when I talk to animals, and I make this really clear, what I do is I slow myself down, and it's like I open my heart, and I'm able to talk one-on-one. And I always try to get their name, because when I go in, I try to be very, very respectful of that.
We should have let him lay on the blanket ahead of time. Wyatt, come.
Ah, buddy.
There, here, turn around.
There you go. Right there. Stay right there. Oh, yes. Okay. Now we got it. Now we're okay. Now right there. Stay right
I put my feet there. How's that?
Or I can take this stuffed animal on my lap and he'll be looking right up here.
That might work. Wyatt.
Okay. Oops.
Okay. See, sometimes this is why it's not always good to have the animals come in, but people do bring them in. Because I can work from pictures. I can do phone consultations. But they get so distracted. Although I'm working with their subconscious, they're still distracted. Okay, their physical body is. So I try to just tune out, and right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open myself up and I'm going to ask permission, because that's the way I work, that I can go in. He is so sweet. He is really, really sweet. Headstrong but sweet. You see headstrong here, but he's very, very sweet.
I think he was a bulldog in another life.
You know what I'm feeling on him. Oh no, now we've got attention. Is there's actually
Yes. We have a mic problem here. Miss Lori lost her mic.
uh-oh.
Yep. No, jeez.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. I'm sorry we keep interrupting you. Okay.
Okay, yeah. There. All right.
Okay.
All right, what I'm seeing with him is I'm doing a scan down. And I really pick up a hot spot back here. And there is a small cyst type thing. There's a little bump back there. But there's also this really heat. And he deals with it. It's not going anyplace. But what I see is like these little, it's little spidery things that's coming out from this little cyst. And now does he lick himself in the back at all?
He does.
He does? Does he, it's back in here? Okay, what I'm seeing is that there's this, it's like a nerve thing coming down, and it's not, I actually feel like maybe it's the the anal gland. And I don't know if that's so. Have you had him checked on that or not?
No.
Have you ever had that?
Not since he's, well, actually, no. Not for 3 years, and he's...
Okay, I think that that needs to be addressed as well as that cyst does back there, because you don't want that to go any further. Okay. And that gland, it just seems like it's full and it's bleeding off to the, it would be the right side as I'm looking at him, down the back.
Okay.
And it's creating a bit of a problem, like he scratches or licks it like that.
Okay. So it's going down the right side, you say?
Mm-hmm. It's, well, looking at him. Okay. Okay, he's, yeah, let me tell you, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, I know. Also, he has this problem right here. There, did you hear it? That's his whistling, and it's right there.
It's
yeah.
a windshield wiper.
No, it's in his sinus cavities. It's right, there's a little, it's not an obstruction, but it's like a little bone area or something where that makes him whistle when he breathes through it.
There, now see that's bothering him?
Yeah,
Yep,
see,
yep.
there we go. Yeah, there.
Well, actually, we thought it was worms, and we took him to the vet and had him dewormed. So we know that it's not that, so that
No,
makes
it's
sense.
not worms. If it was worms, I would see little crawly things. When I do a scan, it's like I try to go all the way down, and it's really hard with lights, you know, this bright, to really get into that. But I don't see anything. The only thing I can see is maybe some, it's not like it's indigestion type things. Does he have problems with his, like through this area in here, do you know?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, now you're settling down.
No.
Good guy.
Now, what's the, now, I know that sometimes we pick up energy from things around us. Okay. Where's that picture you have of this cat?
My kitty?
Okay, let me ask you this. What she's telling you, can you relate to this? Or is she talking about the picture in your pocket?
The indigestion?
No, Lori and I is friends, so I know she has a picture in her pocket.
No, he eats really good. I mean, I don't think he has a problem with his eating at all. Although, you're going to have to do something with his toenails, and he's afraid of that. So, he hates his toenails being messed with. So, the only thing I can tell you is, you know, give him a toy and act as a tranquilizer and just hurry and clip them, or take him to the vet.
Well, the last time I took him to the vet, they actually had to put him to sleep. And they did his teeth at the same time.
Them. He just hates them. It's the clicky on there. They're getting big enough now to where they need to be cut back.
Yeah, he knows when he sees the clippers, he runs. It's really bad. It's really bad. Yeah.
A hit is when we right on target with something, and sometimes we have misses. I mean, and they're big misses. We don't do little misses, do we?
No. Seems like that's kind of the way of it. But that anal gland, you really need to have that looked at.
Okay.
Because I think that's what's creating that back there.
And do you think that we should have the vet look then at the cyst?
Yeah, because
Because it was just a little tiny bump.
No, I think that oftentimes, you know, like this, I feel like little feelers coming out. They're like little, and they're not long. They're not growing. It's not that big.
Oh my!
Yeah, they're making fun of you, huh? Yeah. But it's like I would take it when you have the gland looked at. Look at that too.
Okay. And then also his little sinus.
Yeah, his sinus right in here, because there's something as he comes. Come here, big guy. Right here. Have the vet look right there.
Okay.
Because it's like a little thing that's down there that when he breathes out, that's what whistles.
Kind of like snoring at night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's a daytime thing, so.
No, I have a question. As we do with people, can you tune into the frequency level of an animal?
I can see if they have energy or not.
Could we ask you to go there for a minute?
Come here, buddy. Come here. Yeah. Don't bite his nose. I need it. Actually, he's very good energy-wise.
What about frequencies?
A frequency, I don't see. A frequency is like, you know, like that to me. I don't see that. I just see the energy of it. Uh-oh. But he's been on this earth plane many times. I mean, many, many times. Oh, we don't like that.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions you want to ask?
Well, actually, now that you talked about the frequency, he does what I call vibrate or shake at certain times, and I can't explain it to anything that's in his environment that we can see physically. However, I do notice that a lot of times it's prior to when Fort Lewis is doing some maneuvers, and I was just wondering whether or not you can find out whether or not he's feeling that frequency.
He does.
He's so sensitive. That's what he is.
Animals are so sensitive. This one here is really, really clued into earth, and I find that the lower they are to the ground, the more sensitive they are. The bigger their feet are, the more sensitive they are. See, they pick up all the vibrations and everything. And when they're lower like that, just like when the earth shifts and the grids shift, you know, along that line, they can feel everything. And that's when you'll hear them be restless or whiny or whatever.
Okay. Excuse me. I did a scan on this dog. I'm not an animal psychic, but, you know, I can tune into things. And I would like for you to agree or disagree with me on that. It's almost like he's sensitive, like the people are, and he picks up harp. He picks up Jim Creek up in your area. When they turn up Jim Creek, this dog vibrates, and so. And what I told Lori, that's what he is reacting to.
I agree. A lot of animals do that. You'll see them in earthquakes and stuff like that. They run.
But that's not what he's doing. What he's doing is different. He just vibrates, like he vibrates, and we've never seen. That's why we picked this particular animal to bring it. You know, it's not like the regular cat, and that has premonition of, like right now, the snails are all heading northeast, that type of thing. This dog vibrates, and that's what we can't get to the bottom of.
I'll tell you what's happening, and this is kind of off from what you're saying, but there are a lot of intuitives that I know right now that I vibrate.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I'll get into a situation. It doesn't have to be anything. At night, I'll wake up and I'm vibrating, and there's a lot of intuitives that I know that are doing this.
And so
it's a frequency change.
That's why I asked you about the frequency of the dog.
Yeah, it's a frequency change. I can only tell you that he's a very, very high spirit individual dog. That's all I can tell you. You know, the frequency, I don't know that. You know, if he was to vibrate, I could probably tell you, because I can see auras and I can see colors. Reiki does wonderful.
Yeah, that's what we should have done. We should have just Reiki'd him.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's a good boy.
Well, this is almost like his entire body just vibrates and shakes.
That's what people do.
Shivering.
Yeah.
Really.
So why wouldn't an animal be the same thing?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't they have the same thing?
So we were on the right track.
Yeah,
with
you were.
that, yeah.
Absolutely. I could give you names of people that do it, including me. So.
Yeah, you know, earlier when I had asked about, do they always have to come back as the same species? You know what I mean? And you said no, not necessarily. So I'm wondering, you know, what was he prior to? It's because sometimes his behavior is different than a dog.
I'm seeing one of his lifetimes as being a horse, and being a really spirited horse. I'm seeing him as being very, very large. In another lifetime, a large dog, huge dog. Might even have been in your lifetime. but I don't think so. He's just been he was a very like a very, he likes these colors, so he stayed these colors more or less. The horse I see is like really, it would be like a golden, brownish golden, apricotish. And I know that sounds stupid for a horse, but that's true. That's what he sees.
Like a solid color?
Yeah, it's a solid one. I see the dog as being really big, but it's real shaggy. It's got real hair. A lot of hair, like maybe a big wolfhound or something like that. But again, and I've never seen him this way, it's a lighter color. He likes that color. So, I know.
Well, you had said earlier that there are some animals.
That's why you went for the turtle.
Yeah, he likes the turtles. You were saying earlier that they can actually be your animal and have come back again.
Oh, yeah.
Was he ever one of my many dogs that we ever had decide to come back?
You know, I'm looking at kind of like a smaller dog. And I'm looking at a hairy, smaller dog. Did you ever have one like that? He would be kind of like these types of colors.
Well, we had, when I was right out of high school, my girlfriend and I in college had a Norwegian elk hound and a mix, kind of mixed
a
different
mixy color?
Yeah, and I guess it was probably kind of golden. There's some brown in it, and he was longer. So.
Does he have any type of, does he act the same way?
You know, now that you say it, it's funny, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Because he was so active, we couldn't handle him. In fact, my girlfriend took him when I moved. So, yeah, maybe he came back because he wanted to live with me again. When I could handle him.
I want to add something here.
That's really funny.
I want to add something here. Now, Lori is my friend, and for quite a while, and she's a stickler on details. You know, so if all of a sudden she had this light bulb going off in her head, it's a light bulb, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's really strange, you know, because animals show me pictures. But the pictures are, I mean, sometimes they're so, I had a horse one time that elongated its jaw and dropped it down to show me where the bit goes in, and it had a sore worn in there. And it was the weirdest looking thing, and I went, oh my God, what are you doing? No horse can do that. And I sat back and thought about it for a minute, and he took his hoof and went, sore, 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 like that, and I went, so I said, okay, this is the deal. And I turned around to the gal, because I have to interpret. You know, they're not prolific at what they're saying. They're not saying, well, I have the sore right here, and that's where it's at, and it spreads out. I mean, you have to guess that. So anyway, I told her, and she went to the vet, and she says, I don't think so. She said, I just had them looked at about a week ago, so I don't think so. Well, a couple of weeks went by, she went to the vet, and the vet says, my God, there was this big sore back in there. They had a new bit, and the bit had a rough edge on it, and every time they put it in, it was putting it back there.
And I sent one of your animals. You had brought it from the vet, and I made you go back.
Yeah. In fact, actually, I was going to follow up on that to see whether or not he's okay, because we had a lot of tests done. What the conclusion was that he had hurt himself jumping, but we had thought it was tied together, and Lillian said, no, he's got two issues going on. He's got some sort of sinus infection or eye infection, and then separate from his gallbladder and his internal organs. And we had gone and went to this little island where we live on the lake, and he had gotten loose and played around and was jumping around. Well, whether or not he got some poison ivy in his eyes, he also had jumped down off of a log and had scratched himself, and so he had blood in his urine, and so the doctor was really concerned, took all these blood tests. So I was kind of curious. I haven't taken him back because he seems to be fine. Are all of his internal organs now working properly? Can you feel or see that they've all healed up and that he's okay?
I would say yes.
Okay, so it was
just
jumping
I would say yes.
No, we don't have a lot of time left. You have a picture in your pocket, which is a kitty. And I have to apologize. Miss E.T. wanted to come. Oops, but we knew this ball thing wasn't going to work. But Miss E.T. was going to come, and then we decided not to. So I'm going to bring it to the studio for you on another occasion. Can we see that picture real quick? And then we're going to get back to... oh, yeah, I'll show it. How's that? Oh, no, you need it. It's fun show. Hey, you. What are you doing? Come on, sit down. Yeah. So what excitement. I'm on TV. We had a dog here that got adopted by the time we got out of the door one time.
Okay, now what is his name?
Buford.
Buford. Buford. I like that. I like Buford. Do you see that? Huh? Look. Look.
This dog is not up for adoption. I need to clarify that.
No,
There are basset hounds, though, that are up.
Well, what I see with Buford is very old. And Buford is now rolling on his back, playing in the air, like this, bat in the air. Loves to bat this dog as this dog goes by. Am I right?
Yes. Lives to play with his ears.
Just loves. He's fascinated with those ears, and he loves to bat him. He loves to play with him. He loves that tail.
Yeah, actually, he does.
More than anything else, he loves the tail. Okay, let me go in here again.
We'll focus on the tail. I can't turn him around.
I know, just want to make sure that doesn't chew on the cords back there.
No, he doesn't
Then
chew on
we have
cords.
an electrocuted
He'll
dog.
chew on the stuffed animals if they don't talk. He's kind of afraid of this one talking.
I think Buford, I don't know, Buford is laid down. Okay, and Buford has his leg in the air. Now, this is kind of like weird, but what they try to tell me is they have something wrong with their tummy. Their tummy is not okay.
Let's bring him back around this way. Come here, Wyatt. Look.
Wyatt, you're making it very difficult for me to...
We're having some challenges.
He's going to
let's
get
come
into
back.
the
Not
cords.
good.
Here, back him up. Now, see, this is when I should have had his gentle lead on. I just thought of this.
Watch it. Oh, I'm sorry to mini out, but it's going to fall off the stage.
This is going to be a riot film.
There.
Yeah, we found
There.
it.
Okay. Okay, now we'll just stick you right here. This is a good spot.
Okay. Buford.
Back to Buford.
Here we go. And Buford is showing me in his stomach. It would be the bottom of his stomach, more up towards, I would say, intestines down. Is he having a hard time with food at all?
No, other than he's kind of finicky as to what cat food that I give him. He always has his dry crunchies, but there's certain kinds that he likes and certain kinds that he doesn't, and he's been kind of sticking his nose up to most all of it lately, the last couple days.
Yeah, he's having a little hard time, and he's not showing me, I don't see through the rectum, a processing or anything, but I do see that his stomach, he's got a little gray area in it, and you might want to keep track of that, make sure of how much water he's consuming and things. I think it's just his system being finicky is what it is. But do you give him hard food?
Yes, he always has his hard food, his hard crunchies, but then he also gets then soft canned food.
Okay, watch his teeth on the hard crunchies.
Okay.
Because I think what you're looking at is he...
There's too much territory yet to smell.
I like to make a suggestion. How about we finish Buford by picture?
Okay.
And so we can kind of wind up because, I actually broke a vase already today. And
I know, that's why I was holding on. I was thinking of that in the back of my mind.
I crashed it and we had to fix it and owe everybody a vase, so we don't want to do the part here.
Well, do you have a question about Buford?
Well, actually, yes, I do. He, like you had asked, he's getting up there in years, and he's got this cyst on his back that is quite large, and I'm not concerned as much as what it looks like is that whether or not it's hurting him, and that if it's getting, and it's going to create more problems.
It's like dimpled in. More, and I know it looks like it's raised like this, but it's also going down. And I think what might happen, has a vet told you about taking that off yet?
No, because he's not too much to riding in a car. That's why, to me, the trauma of him going to the vet would be.
And
I mean,
he's
very,
too
very-
old to put under also.
See, that was my second concern, is that if he could survive it because of his age, and then if it's hurting him. I mean,
You know, I don't feel that it's cancerous. Did the vet say it was cancerous?
He hasn't seen the vet. No.
Not at all.
I haven't
I
taken
don't.
him
I
to the
don't
vet.
feel that it's cancerous, but I do feel it's sore. I
So
do
can
feel
the
that
vet
there's
take
pain
it
there.
off without putting him under?
No, I don't think that's going to be a reality.
Echo.
Let me look at it. Just really go at it here. Yeah, because it's spreading like down. I mean, it's up. Okay, it's up, but it's also going underneath and going down. So you want to have it looked at. You know, there's a lot of like Bach remedies, things of that nature, that you can go in there and give him. Rescue remedies, some of that.
I'm familiar with Rescue Remedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and try that, and really give him a pretty good dose of it, and then take him in. But make sure that he has all of his favorite things when you know, take him in the carrier. You know, make sure he has things that he can smell that's familiar to him, because he's going to fight it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to really fight it.
Now, it's really rude to interrupt the reading, but I need to close that part of the show, because if not, we're not gonna be. So far, he's okay. So you have a choice. Can you sit? I don't think we have more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or you know, if not, so that gave you a little demonstration how we did that. And so now I'd like for you to wind up, to add anything for the viewer that would like to. We have the webpage on the end and the phone number.
Okay.
And so now we have a little sample how you did that. What is it you like your clients to know that you feel that's important to you?
Well, actually, the most important, and even when they sat down, you know, I only see the pictures that these animals send me. I mean, you know, that's just the way of it. And I will relay it. But if I think that a vet is necessary, I will say so. And I really do, because I see this infection starting not on the top so much as the bottom. So I would really say do that. And yeah, and maybe you could actually take both of them in, have his glands looked at, and have that cyst looked at. It doesn't look like it's anything, but they're growing this way. They're growing little things out.
So we
Right.
got back into the reading. We need to turn it back to the rest of the viewers, if you don't mind. And
Okay.
so I'm going to repeat what I ask you. Can you summarize it? We only have just a couple of minutes left. Would you summarize it, what it is you need the people to know in general, not about these animals we
Okay.
discussed, please?
If you'd like to call me, is that what you wanted?
We have the number.
Then I have, the number is there. I have a website. You can go into that. I also have my email. And
we
email
have
is
that at
much
the end.
quicker than the website is. And if you want to call me, I give phone consultations. And usually what I do is you call me, I set up a time, because I like to clear myself before I do this.
Do you have a schedule for next year in place already that can be accessed to your page as to where you're going to be at what time?
You know, I really don't. No, I'm an independent, so I do a lot of animal shows, cat shows. Hopefully next year I'll be doing the horse shows. So the only thing I can say is just call me, we'll talk, or email me, and I'll email you right back. I'm really good at that.
And to remind you, Dana's also a Reiki master, and that's for animals and people alike. And,
Yep. And I do I do NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming.
Oh, really?
And that helps when I do the back, up on the tops of the head and stuff like that. And the Reiki incorporates with it. So there's a lot you can do with your animals. And I'm very thankful I can do it.
So I think we're going to have earthquakes this year, so we're going to have a lot of sensitive animals.
A lot. The shaking has already really began. There's a lot of animals that are experiencing really weird behaviors. So watch your animals, you know, take care, look at them, try to send them pictures, they send you pictures, try to understand them, you know, try to really communicate with them. And maybe you need to call me, but if you just look at their behavior, look at what they're trying to say, you can understand them.
Yeah, that'll be easy. And you work with horses, and it doesn't matter what type of animal it is.
No, it doesn't at all. I don't work a lot with snakes and reptiles, and a lot of people like to do that, but I don't. Birds I love. I'm going to be doing my animal tarot cards.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'm putting that together now, and it's a great set because it's got like 52 all different kinds of animals, reptiles, everything.
So I made him nervous again. I'm going to kind of wrap it up. Lori, I thank you for coming, and she's the lady that brought lunch, so thank you for lunch. Camera crew, Edie, Bernie, of course, and Wyatt. And I know you had a long drive, so I really, really appreciate it. And next time we're going to do jewelry. So thank you for coming. Come see me next week. Don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but enjoy your new year, and you have a great, safe journey for the new year. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. Not